What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. We're here. We finally made it. Bowl season. We got some really good games coming up. Real quickly, though, just want to take a second to thank everyone who's liked, commented, and subscribed to the channel. I know I'm a very small channel, but every little bit helps here. Again, at the end of the day, guys, I don't claim to be a college football expert, analyst, or insider. I try to give the most unbiased opinion as I can. Bottom line, at the end of the day, guys, I'm a college football fan first. I don't hide the fact that the Huskers happen to be my favorite team. On top of that, I know they're not any good. That's why we're talking about two good teams here today. If you really want to help the channel out, guys, I've met a lot of great people over here, fans of other teams. Give this a thumbs up. Better yet, comment and subscribe. I truly, truly appreciate it. All right, so let's get into it here. Let's talk about Michigan. They're catching over a touchdown here. The over-under set to 46.5. This is the Citrus Bowl. So say what you will here, but Michigan 9-3 on the year. Now, I don't want to talk about all the drama going on with Michigan and the head coaching stuff. That's not what I'm talking about here today. I'm going to talk specifically about this game, but this drama obviously isn't a good thing. But as far as the year for Michigan, I thought they had a pretty good season this year. They actually exceeded expectations, in my opinion. Their only three losses were to Oklahoma, who is a damn good football team, USC, who I think is a very good football team as well, and then obviously Ohio State, one of the best teams in the country. Now, let's talk about who's confirmed out in this game. Mind you, I am putting this video out about 7 days before kickoff. Derek Moore, the edge rusher here and sack leader for the Michigan defense, is out. Jay-Sean Burnham, this guy's got NFL written all over him. This guy's a stud. I know this as a Husker fan. He tore us a new asshole in that game. He's awesome. He is out this game as well. And then offensive lineman Giovanni Elahadi, I think that's how you say his name. This guy had 51 starts for the Wolverines in 5 seasons. So a couple big pieces there missing for Michigan in this game. Now, the offense, I want to touch on this for a second because it's kind of a hot topic, and it's been an issue, in my opinion, for Michigan the past couple of seasons. Now, I'm not one to shit on Bryce Underwood. I actually think this kid is like uber talented. I've watched him a ton, and I don't think a lot of this is his fault either, but the passing numbers aren't great. I mean, yes, he did throw for over 2,200 yards. He's got a 61.1% completion percentage to go along with 9 touchdown passes and just 6 interceptions. You want to see that completion percentage come up, obviously, and the passing touchdowns, but a lot of this is scheme. I think Michigan needs to get an offensive coordinator in there that can help this kid develop and get some sort of scheme in there where they can throw the ball a little bit more. That's a problem with Michigan, in my opinion. They play in some of these really tough games, and when teams slow down or shut down the run, then you're putting a lot of pressure on the kid to throw the ball a ton, and that's just not what Michigan does as of late. So with that being said, one thing they can do, and typically, is run the football really well. It doesn't get much better than Michigan in my lifetime as far as running backs go. Obviously, Justice Haynes, he was one of my favorite players this year. It was unfortunate he got hurt. He's not playing. But Jordan Marshall, dude, this kid is really, really freaking good. I think it's Bryson Condunzel. This kid is really nice, too. He's their third string guy, but both these guys are solid running backs. Jordan Marshall, by the way, finished actually 5th in the Big Ten in rushing yards this season. And then Michigan finished 3rd in the Big Ten in rushing yards as a team. So they're a very run-heavy team first. No surprise there. Here's the other issue with this team, in my opinion. They lack so much explosiveness, in my opinion, at the wide receiver spot and the tight end spot this year. They just don't have anybody that's a game breaker out there. And I'm not trying to harp on these kids at all, but Donovan, I think is his name, McCauley, and then Andrew Marsh, they're their 2 leading receivers. But drops have plagued this team all season long. I do like the tight end, Marlon Klein. I actually think he's really good. They need to get him involved in this game, in my opinion. But the wide receiver room overall, they got to go out and get some guys that can make some plays. That's just the bottom line here, in my opinion, with Michigan. You can argue with me down in the comments if you want there, but it's been that way for the past couple of seasons for Michigan. As far as the ranks go on the year offensively for Michigan, man, they sit 56 in the country in total offense. They're actually 15th best in the nation in rushing offense, 105th in passing offense, and they're really good at protecting the quarterback. No shock, Michigan has one of the best O-lines in the country each and every year. They've only allowed 18 sacks on the year. That's 34th best. Now, this will be interesting, as we know Michigan's always got a really tough defense, or at least in my lifetime anyway. They're out with, their 2 best defenders are out in this game. But as far as the ranks on the year up until this point, they rank out really well. They're 21st best in total defense. They are 14th best versus the run, which is really good. 52nd versus the pass. That's great. 39th in sacks. They can get to the quarterback. They got 28 of them on the year. Okay, let's talk about the Longhorns here. And Um, 9-3 this year, and I know there was a lot of drama surrounding whether or not they should be in the playoffs. I know every Texas fan on my channel definitely thinks they should be in. Here's my thing. I have, like I said, I don't like Texas and I don't dislike Texas. The loss to Florida hurt you guys a ton. That's just the bottom line. You got to win those games. Florida was a horrible football team this year. I know it was earlier in the year. I know the Ohio State loss definitely didn't hurt them much. Like, Ohio State's a damn good football team. That was a pretty good game now looking back on it. And, unfortunately or fortunately for Texas, the way you look at it, they started playing their best ball at the end of the year. Texas was a pretty good football team. There's no doubt about that. I don't think they're terrible by any means, but 9-3 on the year. It was a pretty good year for Texas. I know the expectations for Texas fans were definitely higher. I think they were second or third to win the Natty this year as far as betting Vegas odds go. And they didn't achieve that. So, yeah, you want to call that a down year. But I think this Texas team has got some issues. I'll get into it here real quickly. And here's the problem for this game in particular, by the way. Texas is missing a slew of people that are going to be playing in this one. Here's who's out for Texas. Linebacker Anthony Hill Jr., stud. Safety Michael Taft, stud. Outside linebacker Trey Moore, very good. Defensive end Ethan Burke, he's good. Malik Muhammad, cornerback, he is a super stud. Wide receiver DeAndre Moore just came out the other day and said he's transferring, so he's not playing as well. So a lot of guys off that defense missing. But look, quarterback Arch Manning, let's talk about him. I didn't say a lot about this kid this year because he was getting so much shit to start the year. I think Arch Manning had a really good year this year. You can say what you want. I think the expectation level from people on the internet like me and the national pundits was a little bit too high because of the last name. I actually thought he played really well this year. You look at his numbers, man. He had almost 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 picks. That's pretty damn good. And believe it or not, Manning actually finished sixth in the SEC in passing yards. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the SEC, so he finished in the top 6 there. But my issue with this offense has been the running game, right? Like Quintravion Wisner, excuse me, he's their lead back. I actually think he's pretty good, but he had 130 carries on the year, almost 600 yards. That's almost right around 4 yards per carry, so not great there. And then Arch is actually the second leading rusher on his team, which is kind of weird. He did have 8 touchdowns on the year. I don't love the fact that you got to run the ball a ton with your quarterback, especially when you got Arch Manning back there. So the running game has definitely been an issue, in my opinion, for Texas this year. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if it's the offensive line. I'm not 100% sure. Texas fans definitely know more than I do there. As far as the wide receiver room goes, they're always good here. I really like Ryan Wingo, who's the leading pass catcher here for the Longhorns. He's really good, in my opinion. He actually sits 8th in the SEC in receiving yards. He has 7 touchdowns on the year as well. Parker Livingstone, Emmett Mosley, these guys are very nice as well. They're reliable on the outside. As far as the ranks go, Texas sits 71st in the nation in total offense, so not bad, not great. They're 98th, though, in rushing yards per game. That's not very good at all. They are 42nd in passing offense, 74th in pass protection, allowing 23 sacks on the year. Now, defensively, it's been pretty good. They carried a majority of the season this year. Texas actually sits 36th in total defense. They are really good versus the run. No shock there. They were great versus the run last year as well. They were 10th best in the country there. Not great, though, versus the pass, which is a little concerning here. They're 98th in the country in passing yards allowed. But look, if you can't cover on the back end, I say this all the time, you better be able to get to the quarterback. Texas can get to the quarterback. They are actually 3rd in the country with 38 sacks on the year. That is a shit ton. So really good there. All right, the reason why you guys clicked on this video, hopefully, is look, I got to say this before I talk about betting or taking a team here. Again, I have no bias in this game whatsoever. I do root for the Big Ten because I'm a Big Ten homer, but regardless, I put my money where my mouth is. I like Michigan here, guys. I'm not only taking the points, I'm actually going to sprinkle a little bit on the money line, I think, for this game. And you're probably wondering, well, holy shit, why? Texas has been a better team all year. They're playing really good football. I get all that. But like I said, dude, they're missing over half their defense in this game, which is their strongest suit, in my opinion. And then all the drama here with Michigan and Sharon Moore and all that stuff. I actually love Biff Poggi. I don't know what you guys think of him, but I like him. I love the way he talks. I think he's funny as shit. I think he's a really good coach who's obviously going to be the interim head coach here for this game. I think he gets his team to rally around him and they win this game. I really, really do. I don't know why I feel that way so strongly, But we see this a lot. If you guys watch the NFL, typically when teams fire a coach during the season, that team ends up winning their next couple of games for whatever reason. Does that mean or guarantee that Michigan's going to win this game? No, it doesn't, but I do think they can keep this game close. I do think they can win this game. And the other fact is, while Michigan is missing a couple of their really good players defensively, like I said, Texas is missing a ton of them on the defense, and I actually think that's the best part of this Texas team. So regardless here, like I said, give me Michigan in the points. And potentially maybe the W here. With that being said, guys, I got a ton more content coming out each and every day over here. I will be covering the college football playoffs going forward as well. So appreciate all the love and support. Drop a like. Let me know down in the comments who's winning this game, and we'll see you next time.